Missed out on breakfast? Fret not. It's never too late to grab a bite.
All right, Audrey, if you could choose how you wanted to coach your kids on financial literacy, what would you choose to do? And where would you send them?
Yeah, I would definitely send them somewhere because I know that I'm not equipped to do it properly. I don't know where I would send them. I never really thought about that. Probably some sort of hands-on kind of school that could teach them the value of $1, but I don't know where to go.
Let me put you out of your misery, all right?
All right.
Finland.
That's a little far, Emaad, but talk to me about this.
Okay, let me tell you what's happening in Finland. There's a make-believe town in a warehouse on the outskirts of the Finnish capital, Helsinki, where you have sixth graders, 12 and 13-year-olds, taking part in a national network of business villages designed to improve their financial literacy.
Wow.
All right, so for a bit of context, Finland is looking to achieve the best financial literacy in the world by 2030. And this national network of business villages is a big part of that push. Now, back in 2018, they placed second on financial literacy at schools behind Estonia in the PISA rankings from the OECD. And so they're doing really well on that front. Now, the goal in Finland regarding financial literacy is that people make sustainable and value-creating economic decisions, right? So these decisions, they're made in roles, whether as individuals, households, and businesses, or in activities within society. So it's not just about how you manage your own financial well-being and capital, but how you help others too.
That's amazing.
So about 90% of students take part in this 10-lesson program. They learn how business, the economy, and society work, as well as how to apply for a job. They're let loose in the business village for a day to practice teamwork in their work uniforms. They buy drinks and food with the money they earn, and they find out what happens if they spend too much and they need to make emergency cash.
That's fantastic. You say 90% of all students
in
get
this
to do
particular
this?
village case study that I'm citing, yes.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I wonder, does it cost the parents any money to send them to this?
Not sure about that.
Okay.
But it might be a little bit of a pinch in the wallet, but it's worth it.
But it sounds like this is a priority for the Finnish government. So
Yeah.
it's probably subsidized or part of a school curriculum, which is fantastic.
You know, the education system there is heavily subsidized. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if this is next to nothing.
Wow.
So what's also important is that financial literacy makes people equal. What they want is people being in the same position as being an active citizen, right? So the children also get to vote in city hall meetings.
Oh
and
my
they get to
goodness.
work in their respective businesses and behave as consumers as well. So they play both sides of the coin. And there's also this concept of learning by doing, or gamification, right? Which is in addition to the theoretical lesson. So in the example of gamification, there's a now closed mobile phone factory for Nokia somewhere in Helsinki. Class of 17 to 18-year-olds, they play a game simulating the running of a hotel. They receive a specific piece of information, for instance, that an epidemic has stopped international travel but boosted domestic demand. And they have to set room rates, staffing levels, and marketing expenditure as they compete with each other for customers.
Oh my goodness. For 17 and 18-year-olds.
Indeed, indeed. And they've done a pretty good job of it. Students are also explaining how their studies have sparked an interest in entrepreneurship. Two 17-year-olds started a construction business and through Facebook built a sauna and shed for rubbish containers.
Wow. So you know what? This is what comes to mind is that this is what a real education is. So of course, you know, learning and having things being based on theory is also useful, but actually putting your hands in there, learning by example.
Yeah,
learning
experientially.
Yeah, from experience. And I think gamification is such a great idea. That is really how you tap into a young person's motivation to try to figure something out.
Indeed. And here's another example. So another high school, which has a school dog, by the way, a social studies lesson for 14 and 15-year-olds is concentrating on the changes in Finland's workforce in the past century as it moved from an agricultural society to an urban one. So there's a spirit between the pupils and teacher of collaboration rather than one-way dictation and rote learning, which you see often in the UK.
Yeah.
Not so much in the US, but definitely in the UK because I've studied a bit there. And it goes beyond economics and includes how democracy and Finnish society works. So basically, kids have reported that it helps them learn about the environment they're living in. It prepares them for life as an adult. And one particular classmate said that she used to be at school in the US before, and they learned a lot less of this stuff.
I mean, I imagine so. I've never come across a country or a community that's able to pull this off in such a grand scale, you know?
So if you're looking for a solution to teach your kids financial literacy, consider Finland.